The British East India Company initially arrived in the early 17th century for trade, but over time, their influence grew, leading to direct control over vast territories. Understanding this historical context is crucial, as it reveals the intricate dynamics of power, culture, and resistance that defined colonial India. By delving into this topic, we not only uncover the strategies employed by the British, but also the profound impact their rule had on Indian society, economy, and identity, which still resonates today. Early encounters. The British East India Company made its first significant arrival in the early 17th century, seeking to capitalize on the lucrative spice trade. Initially, their interactions were centered around establishing trade relations with local rulers, who were intrigued by the potential for profit. Key figures such as Sir Thomas Roe, who served as the ambassador to the Mughal court, played a crucial role in negotiating these early agreements. The company's ability to forge alliances and navigate the complex political landscape allowed them to secure trading rights and establish a foothold in the region. These initial encounters laid the groundwork for the eventual expansion of British influence throughout the Indian subcontinent. Battle of Plassey. The Battle of Plassey in 1757 was a turning point in Indian history, marking the beginning of British dominance in the subcontinent. Leading up to the battle, tensions rose between the British East India Company and the Nawab of Bengal, Siraj-ud-Dowlah, who opposed British interference in local affairs. The conflict culminated in a decisive confrontation where Robert Clive, a key figure for the British, orchestrated a brilliant strategy that exploited divisions among Siraj-ud-Dowlah's forces. The British victory not only secured control over Bengal, but also set the stage for further territorial expansion, establishing the company as a formidable power in India and paving the way for colonial rule. Expansion of control. Following the Battle of Plassey, the British East India Company rapidly expanded its control over India through a combination of military conquests and strategic treaties. The annexation of territories was often justified by the doctrine of lapse, which allowed the British to claim lands of rulers who died without a direct heir. This policy significantly impacted regions like Punjab, Awadh, and Sindh, where local rulers were either defeated in battle or coerced into ceding power. The British employed both diplomacy and force, leading to a vast expansion of their influence. By the mid-19th century, the company had transformed from a trading entity into a dominant political power across the Indian subcontinent. The Sepoy Mutiny of 1857, also known as the First War of Independence, was fueled by a combination of factors, including cultural insensitivity, economic exploitation, and the introduction of new rifle cartridges rumored to be greased with animal fat. This sparked outrage among Indian soldiers, or sepoys, leading to widespread rebellion. Key figures like Mangal Pandey ignited the uprising, while Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi emerged as a symbol of resistance. The mutiny had profound consequences, prompting the British government to dissolve the East India Company and assume direct control over India. This shift marked the beginning of a new era in British colonial policy, emphasizing military presence and administrative reforms to prevent future revolts. The transition from company rule to direct British governance was solidified by the Government of India Act of 1858, which transferred power from the East India Company to the British Crown. This act marked a significant shift in administrative policies, as it aimed to establish a more centralized and accountable government in India. The British Crown took on a direct role in Indian affairs, appointing a viceroy to oversee the administration and implement reforms. This change also led to the introduction of new policies focused on infrastructure development, education, and legal systems, reflecting a more structured approach to governance. However, it also intensified British control, often disregarding local customs and governance. The British implemented a series of economic policies in India that significantly impacted the subcontinent's economy. The taxation and land revenue systems were particularly burdensome, often leading to widespread poverty among farmers who struggled to meet high tax demands. This exploitation severely affected Indian agriculture, resulting in crop failures and famines. Additionally, British policies favored the import of British goods, stifling local industries and crafts, which led to deindustrialization in many regions. The drain of wealth from India to Britain was profound, as profits from Indian resources and labor were funneled back to Britain, contributing to the economic disparity that fueled resentment and resistance against colonial rule. British rule brought significant cultural changes to India, notably through the introduction of Western education and legal systems. English became the medium of instruction in schools, creating a new class of educated Indians who were exposed to Western ideas and philosophies. This shift had profound effects on Indian society, challenging traditional norms and practices while fostering a sense of modernity. However, it also led to a cultural clash, as many Indians sought to preserve their heritage. In response to these changes and the injustices of colonial rule, Indian nationalism began to rise, uniting diverse groups in a quest for self-determination and cultural revival, ultimately laying the groundwork for the independence movement. In summary, the British conquest of India was a complex process marked by initial trade interactions, significant battles like Plassey, and the eventual establishment of direct rule. The economic exploitation, cultural changes, and rise of nationalism during this period have left a lasting impact on India, shaping its modern identity. Understanding this history is crucial as it highlights the complexities of colonialism and its enduring effects on society. We encourage you to reflect on these themes and consider their relevance today. If you found this video insightful, please subscribe, like, and share for more content that delves into the rich tapestry of history and its implications for the present.